stopping by. I just wanted to spend a few moments with you right now to catch you up to date on what's going on in the beehive. I was driving back from a friend's house and it started hailing. This weather is so dramatic and changes on a dime. It's not a beer. It's a polar, orange vanilla. I just thought I'd share with you what's going on. G says I need to talk a little bit louder, so G says I need to talk a little bit louder. Well, I have been kind of trying to invigorate my beehive, and part of that I realized is that I needed to start something new. You kind of sometimes get overwhelmed by the piles and the amount of stuff you have and the UFOs and the whips and all that chatter going on, when sometimes all you need is a little bit of frosting. And that is what I decided to do. I know in my cross-stitching life, sometimes you just need to start a new project and stop berating yourself for all of the things that you have started already. Really? Are you going to judge yourself? No. So I picked out a project that has been hanging around here for a while, and it's the perfect project for June. For all those outdoor parties that I can't wait for. And this is a pattern by Creekside Stitches. It's Charming Bricks and Sticks. It's a pattern for a table runner and some placemats. I am going to just be making the table runner. It's done, if you have them, it's done with the 5-inch charm pack, any 5. I know that I'm going to use this pattern over and over again. And I got this at the Quilt House in Gardnerville, Nevada. A lovely, lovely shop. And I also bought the charm pack, which is by Moda, and it is all kinds of chili peppers and just sounds like summer. And yesterday I worked on putting all the pieces together, and so now my strips will be sewn together into a table runner, and it's going to be spectacular because it's so easy. It's just a matter of flipping it back and forth. Again, Creekside Stitches. My friend Lori, who's part of the Fabric Stalkers, which is my quilt group in Central Oregon that we've been quilting together since '93. She and I were the queens of 5-inch charm packs because we always wanted every piece of a fabric line. But really, you can't do that with every line of fabric that comes out. And every year, new lines of fabric come out. And it's like, do I throw out the 6-inch stilettos to make more room for fabric? Oh, the dilemma one has. It's just overwhelming. So we ended up buying charm packs and buying table runner patterns, because you get a satisfaction right away. They not only are fun to make for yourself, but they are fabulous as a gift. And this one is just adorable. Absolutely adorable. And there's no matching seams, which is perfect. I spent this morning stitching with some friends, and it was just so enjoyable to just hang out and talk with girlfriends and laugh and carry on. Yeah, So if you're interested in any type of quilting / cross stitching, check out Stitching with the Sisterlies. They are two sisters who do it all. They do it all. And inspiring and enabling. And I mean, I had to laugh out loud. I had to laugh out loud because when she saw this, my machine cover that was made for me by Lily, that is a camper, she had to get the pattern. And so when I walked in her house, I saw the pattern, which she ordered off of Etsy, sitting on her counter because she wants to make one for herself. Love that. Love that. So I've been cleaning the piles. That's the thing, is that given left to my own devices, I can spin my wheels and I can make piles all over this room. But what I know for a fact is that if I clean the clutter, and I don't mean I'm cleaning like the piles of projects I'm actively working on, but there's a whole lot of clutter that occurs. And if there's too much clutter, I can't function. So yesterday I spent a good half hour cleaning the clutter, putting away the projects that I was not going to be stitching on in the next week or two, and clearing off surfaces so that I could make space for a new project and to enjoy being in here, because sometimes I walk by and just want to keep the door closed, you know, because it makes you crazy at what you've done. When I do a project like this, it's a lot of chain piecing, you know, it's just sewing, 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 one thing after another, and creating, creating, creating. I finished reading, no, well, I was in the middle of, oh, I was so disappointed. I was in the middle of Finding Dorothy when the library yanked it back. So now I have to, I requested it again, but I started a new book. And you may, I like this author, and you may already know about him. But it is, let me just find it here. Mitch Albom, and it's called The Stranger in the Lifeboat. Yeah. So I'm enjoying that. As I plan for my summer activities, that includes what projects the way I lay things out. People have asked me, how do you get so much done? I don't. It looks like I do, but in fact, part of it is that, number one, as I've told you many times before, I can't sit empty-handed. So anytime I'm sitting, whether it's in conversation or watching TV, I am stitching. And the fact that I have a variety of stitching projects or quilting projects going on, so that if I get bored with one, I can easily move to the next spot. So over in my stitching chair, I have a binding that's being tacked down. At my sewing table where friends gather around, as you've seen before, I have not only a buttermilk basin project, wool stitching going on, but I have a project that I took a class for at Cedar Ridge, and that's laying on the table so that if I get distracted to one of them, it's going to move forward. It's going to move forward. And that is how this cookie rolls. That's how this cookie rolls. There's just so much. I wanna use the C word. There's so much crap on TV that I watched Brendan Fraser in The Mummy, and it was it was so enjoyable. It was silly, it was fun. I like Brendan Fraser. So it was fun to watch that. Yeah, I feel the countdown to Quilt Show. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for oh, I thought I did this wrong, but I didn't. I didn't do it wrong. It's so cute that the actual a charm pack could end up into such a sweet, sweet table runner. I'm just pinning away, you know, I just pin every so often. I'm not a, you know, I'm not a paranoid pinner. I just pin every so often. What did we do? Well, I know what we did. I was just about to say, what did we do without a 1/4-inch foot? And what I used to do without a 1/4-inch foot is I had a piece of masking tape on my sewing machine. I can't tell you, this is going to be so freaking cute. Look at Charming Bricks and Sticks. It really has gone together fast. You were all right, the ones that told me that even though it's exhausting with all the grandkids running around, that it is awful quiet. It is awful quiet when they're not here. They're at the other grandma's house now. I still am amazed at how a 20-pound boy, in the fit of wanting his own way, can make himself feel like he weighs 50 pounds. It is downright astounding. You know, the project that's really calling to me, I know I have many wool projects that I'm stitching on because I love wool, hence I am called Woolly Mammoth. But there's two quilt projects that are very much kind of calling to me. And that is, if you remember, I ordered a kit. Who doesn't love a kit? Of the swoon blocks, because I always wanted to make a swoon block. And it's French General swoon block. And so that is calling to me. So I'm hoping that sometime this summer, in between all the fun camping, that I can start that one. And then there's the other one that I bought at Back Porch in Pacific Grove. And that's the fish bowls. Remember that pattern? And I went ahead and kitted it up myself. I gathered all the fabric that I wanted to go in my fish bowl. And I'd like to start that this summer. Yeah. I have a lot of big dreams, but boy, is it hard sometimes to make my dreams a reality. My sticks and bricks are building up. Oh, this is going to be fun, such a fun table runner. And I know I am not an OCD kind of quilter. I'm an ADHD kind of quilter. So there are some people who, and there's no judgment with this, would lay out all the fabrics and move them around and make sure that everything is visually balanced, and that's a very artistic way to look at quilting. I am a cowabunga kind of quilter, so I like to go for it and see what happens. And sometimes it turns out good, sometimes it turns out spectacular. And there are those times that I go, whoops, yeah. So when I was cleaning my piles up, I was kind of, I was putting away things that I really didn't need to address. And the fact that they would be laying out for me to see was only causing me stress. And then I kept out the things that I wanted to focus on, and that was a buttermilk basin project that I had going on. And the other one was this this project called Button Fantasia. You remember that one. It's a class I took at Cedar Ridge with Helene Knott, and my girlfriend Cheryl and I took it together. And I knew that I wanted to keep that one out because it would if I did one square every time I sat down at the table, that eventually I'd get it done. And I keep everything in this little zippered pouch. The threads that I'm using, the baggie of buttons, this gifted needle book is in here that has the needles that I need, chalk, pencil, you know, all the gigas that you need for a project. And then I have my project there. So I'm hoping to keep moving along as we go and get these all done. I just love this project. The construction of the base was fairly simple, but learning all the embroidery stitches, and because I have been a long time wool embroiderer, I have a little bit of things under my belt, but I travel with the books. And two of these books are like right out of Mom's Embroidery. The ABC of Embroidery and 100 Embroidery Stitches. And, you know, 35 cents and 29 cents for a book. But they really are very well written, and they really, the illustrations are fabulous. This one is the pocket guide. I always have that one with me. And it's laminated, so it's great. I carry Creative Stitches, which is by Sue Spargo. And if you're not familiar with Sue Spargo, you have got to go to her website, because that is one creative soul. Everything is so awesome in this book. But I added to my stitching library this book that was suggested by Helene herself when she was teaching the class. And I remember this book from back in the day. You know, Crazy Quilting, the stitches on Crazy Quilts, if you've ever, you can Google it and look, is amazing. And Crazy Quilting was a way of using up fabrics, and not all cottons. They're textured fabrics, there's velvets, there's satins, and women back in the day would stitch all these irregular pieces and then embroider over the top of them to not only decorate, but to maybe distract from the fact that, hey, this is a scrap bag, and it's artwork. It's artwork. So I went on Amazon and I ordered this book, Crazy Quilt Stitches by Dorothy Bond. And I got it on the secondary market. And it was originally sold, I don't know if this shop is even still open, Quilter's Corner in Sacramento, California. But and see, this is kind of how it looks. It's a basic demonstration of the stitch. And it gives you ideas, and that's what I need, was ideas. But what I loved about this book was from 1981, is that there was a note from one friend to another. It was a gift. And so I'm sure that the reason this ended up in my hands is possibly this person passed away and maybe their family donated things. You know, any number of reasons how this ended up on the secondary market. But it says, "Dear Ruth, thanks for being a great friend and co-chairwoman with me on the 4th Pine Tree Quilt Show in 1988. Love, Sally," I can't quite make out the last name, Sally Durkis, And, you know, I just thought it was, I don't know, it was just so lovely. And then in the back, there was a index card that was taped, and it looks like shorthand written on the index card. And I remembered that my mom, when she worked for the military, she knew shorthand. I mean, my mom had a genius IQ, was an incredible, incredible woman. And the fact that she could speak, you know, 4 or 5 languages was amazing. And she knew shorthand, and she used to do a lot of shorthand. So I kind of recognize this as possibly being shorthand, but it's shorthand written out to say I love you. It just, I don't know, it just warms my heart that I came into possession of this book. It actually was printed in Eugene, Oregon. Dorothy Bond, Eugene, Oregon in 1981, and was gifted. And there's little notes, let's see. Now, I wonder what this is for. It looks like she wrote a recipe. I wonder if it was to clean some fabric or something, because it says 3 ounces of rubbing alcohol, 1 ounce of water, 4 drops of Irish dish detergent. Oh, and there's a phone number, Melinda, and a phone number. I don't know, it's kind of like it makes you feel warm and fuzzy, you know, when you find something like this. And the fact that this book is going to help me finish my button fantasia. So awesome. So with the little bit of sewing time I have left today, I'm going to keep sewing these strips together, and then I need to make a little pincushion pillow that I made for a friend, because I'll be seeing people this weekend, and her husband passed away last year, and you know, sometimes life just kind of catches you off guard, doesn't it? So I hope you are stitching away, that you're having fun in your quilting room. If you are like me, clearing the plate, starting something new might be just what the doctor ordered. And we'll see you next time around with some fun updates. Take care. I love you guys, and can't wait for our paths to cross.